Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be teaching OLL, or orientation of the last layer. Now if you don't know what OLL is, it's basically just solving the last side, which is yellow, or if you're doing color neutral, it could be the last side that you have to solve. And then once you solve OLL, like this, which I'm kind of slow at, don't judge me. Then you would move on to PLO, which is the last layer that you need to solve. And I'll get into that in a different video. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So our first OLL is actually this OLL. It is called the line, and I will be putting cube notations up in the video, so if you don't know how to read cube notations, just go to the video in my description where I show what cube notation is, or this video right here, so be sure to go check it out. So starting off with the line OLL, which is basically just this, with two edge pieces missing, you would do front move, which is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and that makes our cross. Moving on to our next OLL, we have the dot OLL, and it's where all four edge pieces are missing and you don't have any corners. So what you would do here is basically you would just do F, R, U, R prime, U, kind of like the line OLL, but instead of bringing it back up like that, you would leave this down and bring down the middle layer, like this. So you would do, with your middle finger, you would do that, which is called a slice move, and I will explain that in a different video. And you would do R, U, R prime, U prime, and then bring both of the layers up like this instead of just one. And then that solves to the cross, just like that. Moving on to our next OLL, we have this, which is like the L-shaped OLL. And you don't want it facing anywhere but this. And if you're left-handed, then you can have it facing like that and do the algorithm. But if you're right-handed, then you need to have it facing like this. So first you would do a front move, but it's both of the middle layers instead of just one. It's two middle layers, R, U, R prime, U prime, just like that. Bring it up, and that solves the cross. So yeah, let's move on to our next one. So here, once you have finished either of those three OLLs, you will have gotten to the cross. And so here we have, you might have gotten this case, which is a soon, and you want the corner facing out at you like this. So like if it's faced down like this, then if the corner is not facing directly out towards you, then it's not right, and you need to get a corner facing out towards you. And this part needs to be like facing down like this. So once you have it all like that, you want to do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, and that solves OLL. So if these OLLs are a little too fast, I'm going to put the cube notation on the screen, so like maybe you can like pause it and read it. So sorry if I'm going a little fast, but yeah, let's move on to the next one. So moving on to the next one, we actually have kind of the same thing as last time, but see here, if we try and do the right algorithm version of it, the corner's not facing out, so it would take longer. So instead we could turn it like this, to where the corner piece is facing out towards us. And see, it's still facing down like that, and then you would do L prime, U prime, L, U prime, L prime, U2, and L, just like that. And again, if you don't know how to read these cube notations, just look at this video right here, or the video in the description, and it'll teach you how. So yeah, there is that OLL. So let's move on to the next one. So here we have just a normal cross, but there are two corners facing out at you like this, and then if you turn the cube directly on the opposite side, which is red, there are another two corners facing out. So with this OLL, you would have two corner pieces facing straight out. So that's how you would recognize it. So if you have that OLL, you would do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, and you would do the R, U, R prime, U prime 3 times. So R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And then bring the front face back up, and that solves the cross. So for the other case, you still have two corners facing out at you, but if you turn it directly on the opposite side, they're not facing like out, kind of like that. Instead, they're facing kind of like this. So turning it from the side, it would look like this. So you have these two facing out, and then one facing out kind of this way, and then the other one facing out like that. So the way you would do that is you would match up a side and then turn it once, or you would find the side that has one corner piece facing out at you and one not, so like this. So, and you would match it up and then turn it once away from the side that it was matched up from, and do R, U2, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R2, U2, and R. And that solves the cross. So for our next case, if you get something kind of like this, where you have corner pieces out like this, kind of, and you can't have it facing like this, where the corner pieces are facing out like that. You have to have it facing out just like this. So what you would do is you would turn the cube like this, which is called X, which I'll explain in another video. So X, R prime, U, R, D prime, R prime, U prime, R, and then D, which solves it. So yeah, there's that one. So let's move on to the next one. So for our next one, we have our cross, but two corners are already solved. So here you want to move, and you also have, instead of two corners facing out like this way, kind of from this spot, you have them facing both going this direction. So you don't want to have it face like this right here. You want to have it facing like this, and you would go X, L, U, R prime, U prime, L prime, U prime, R, U, and that solves the yellow side. So yeah, let's move on to our next. So for our last and final case, we have kind of the same thing, but instead of the two corners facing out like this, they are facing out like this instead of like that. So here, you don't want them facing any other way but this way. So you want them facing you, and you want to do R2, D, R prime, U2, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime, and that solves the last layer. So yeah, that is all the algorithms for to-look OLL, and I hope you learned something new today, and I hope this will help you out with your solves, and yeah, be sure to like and subscribe for a shout out, and remember about the face reveal at 50 subs. Yeah, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Yeah, that will do it for to-look OLL. So yeah, those were 10 algorithms, and my recommendations is that you could like take a piece of paper and like kind of write them down, or like do whatever you need to do, what's best to memorize them. So yeah, I hope this helps out, and be sure to like and subscribe, and bye-bye.